So your slide indicates that we have 2 speakers for you right now from the city of Phoenix, but we're actually blessed to have 3. And so we want to acknowledge the presence of Kelly Thomas as well. And they don't want to sit down. They all have on their lavender mics, and they're going to do it how they choose to do it. Okay, so let's go make that work. Ladies.
It helps you grow. Good morning, and thank you for allowing us to participate in your program.
This. Technical change.
Good morning, my name is Lupita Gomez, and I'm with the City of Phoenix Procurement Office, and thank you again for allowing us to participate in your program. Our presentation is around 10 minutes, and we have a lot of information to provide to you. Is this what yours? Oh, we're going to change it up because it's going to be Angela first. Sorry. Can you all hear me? No?
Use the mic. All right, I like the mic anyway, so. Okay, good morning. Let's see, as what they said earlier, my name is Angela Booker, and I am an Equal Opportunity Specialist for the City of Phoenix. That long title basically means that I do certification as well as contract compliance. So the reason you want to know what I do and our office, you want to win a contract, right?
Yeah.
Well, you meet us first before you win and get your certification. After you win the contract, you want to keep it. And so part of my job is to monitor your contract to make sure that if you do a joint venture with a majority firm and you're supposed to get 30% of the profits, I monitor it to make sure that you get paid. So you might want to know me. Okay, we're going to just talk about our certification programs, the different types. There are actually 3 certification types. So we're going to go over that. I'm going to explain the criteria for getting certified as well as how to fill it out online. So the 3 types of certification. The city gets money in 2 different ways. One, of course, is our revenue that we generate. For example, we sell you water or you buy an airline ticket. That's the way we generate income. The other way that we generate money is based upon our projects. Like, for example, if we pave a highway, we pave a road at the airport, pave the runways. That's how we get money from the federal government. There's a little thing called Title VI, Title VII, that says that if you are a citizen of the United States and there's federal money in a contract, you have the right to work and earn some of that federal money. And it's based upon the populations in your area. So in the city of Phoenix, we're African Americans are about 4% of the population. So 4% of any federally funded contracts, at least at a minimum, should go to minorities. So based on that, the city has a program called their SBE program. That program is Small Business Enterprise. That is for City of Phoenix projects only, and it's self-funded through the City of Phoenix. When we receive federal dollars, you fall under our DBE program. That's the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise program. There are 2 components to that program. One is specifically for airports. So you would be called an Airport Disadvantaged Business Enterprise or Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. The concessions part is what we call all of the businesses that operate out of the airport. So you would first have to get the DBE part and then add the AIC a little later. The requirements, pretty easy. It's based on where's the money coming from. So let's talk about the certification process. The eligibility is in our ordinance. There's 1.89 in our ordinance, chapter 18. Also, it comes from the federal government, which is 49 Code of Federal Regulations, Part 26 and Part 23. So, what are the requirements? That's all you care about today is what are the requirements and how can I win a contract? But you need to know this part. When you apply for certification as a small business, SBE, we have qualifying groups. That qualifying group is gender and race neutral. So we don't care what gender you are or what race you are. Anybody can apply. What we do care about in terms of your personal net worth is You cannot exceed 1.32 million in your personal net worth. That excludes the house, your primary residence, as well as the business that you are applying for. And any additional businesses that you have, we do count the value of those businesses in your own property. We do count that. For profit, no nonprofits. We certify no nonprofits. Control, you must be the owner and in control and own at least 51% of your business. And for example, if you're an engineer and you have a partner who's non-minority and that partner has the engineering degree, there is a problem. Houston, we have a problem. You must be in control of your business and you must have the expertise to operate that business. So the guidelines fall under the SBA program and you must be a U.S. citizen. Now, under the federal program for the AC, Airport Concessions, and the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, it's the same guidelines except for the qualifying group. You need to fall in one of these groups: African Americans, Native American, Pacific Islander, Asian Pacific, as well as subcontinental Asian, and then Hispanic and women fall in that category. You must be a U.S. citizen, same with your personal net worth, and your location can be anywhere in the United States. However, you must have what we call a home state. A home state is where your business was incorporated and where you operate. Okay, you must have control and you must be a for-profit business. So, the benefits of certification. Real quick, you get to participate in city contracts. You're eligible to bid on procurements and also to do joint ventures with majority or our prime firms. Your exposure, you get put in our listing as well as our directories. And construction, if you're doing construction, most of our construction projects have some type of goal for minority participation. So they're going to be hunting you down, trying to find you. And the private sector is also looking for you because those are basically our primes, and they're looking for minority-owned companies. So how do you become certified? You're going to go to our website, and this is what you'll see. When you go to the first website, the first one there, you will go phoenix.diversitycompliance.com, and it's on my next slide. And you will apply there as an SBE, DBE, or an ACDBE if you're in Maricopa County. If you're outside Maricopa County, you'll go apply with the Department of Transportation at AZUCP, and that's the Arizona Unified Certification Program. Okay, let's talk about the application process. It's online, as I mentioned. We verify your documents. We're going to ask you for everything under the kitchen sink. Don't get offended if we ask you for your taxes. Don't get offended when I say, are you black, are you white, what are you, because I need to know. I have a lot of people who say, why do I need to tell you that? Because the program is ethnicity based, so we need to ask you those questions. After we verify all your documents to make sure you gave us everything we need, if we ask you for proof of citizenship, how many people know what that is? Do you think it's your driver's license? Birth certificate. Need your birth certificate or your passport. I get a lot of driver's license. That doesn't prove that you're a citizen, so make sure you have those things. We do an on-site review. After we go over all your paperwork, we literally come to your office to make sure that you are who you say you are and that you are in control of your own business. One of the things that happens regularly, more than not, I will go on an on-site to visit a company, and I'll go in there, and their company is inside of a larger company. And on the door, it says ABC Corporation, but you're XYZ Corporation. Then I'll go in, and you have a little office in the back. That's a red flag to me that basically ABC company has put you in business. So make sure that's not you, because we're looking for true owned and operated minority companies. The next thing we do after I do the on-site, I do my final determination of whether you're approved or not. Then after that, you get your certification is either granted or denied. And then we issue you a certificate, or you have the right to appeal. if there's a problem and we deny, you do have a right to appeal. Okay, information, remember, this is the website, phoenix.diversitycompliance.com. We do not disclose your information to any third parties. So please don't have someone call to check up on your certification. Because sometimes the primes will call us, if you're going to go into a contract, they'll call and say, where's their certification? We can't tell them, we can only tell you. And you will be notified about anything that's going on with your certification. So you would call, if you need help, call our office. We have people who speak Spanish, we have bilingual people if you need additional assistance. We also have, you can call me directly if you have any questions. And this is what the application, when you start on the website, what it looks like. And these are all the numbers for the folks in the city that you may want to contact. I want to leave it up for a second. Have any questions? Yes.
One clarification on the on-site visit. I deal with a lot of clients who have home-based businesses. Is that any barrier to?
No. Just make sure that if you have a home-based business, you have a room set aside that's where you work. Even if it's your kitchen table, set it up like your business. Because we do understand a lot of companies are just getting started. Another question that I get in lines of this would be, I'm just getting started, and it asks me for contracts, and I don't have one yet. Well, you will write us a note and upload that note and say, I'm just getting started, I haven't won a contract yet. But you're going to also upload your resume, which will show me that you know or you have the expertise in that particular field. So if you don't have the contract, but you have the expertise. If you are CPA, Certified Public Accountant, please be certified. Be careful what you're saying. I get that a lot. You need to be certified, okay? All right. So this is our information. Any other questions? Yes.
Is it necessary for a business owner to lease a space in the airport to do business in the
That's a wonderful question. Okay, there's been a lot of confusion about doing business with the airport. How many of you know that we have a contract out right now for Terminal 3 for food and beverage and retail? Okay, a couple of people know. Let me ask you a question. I just want to know if anybody knows about how much money is made at the airport. How much do you think our food and beverage vendors like McDonald's and Wendy's make a month? Just take a guess. $3 million, any others? Somebody said $500,000. Actually, it is depending on your location, but for our larger companies, they make about $500,000 a month. Our car rentals average, the smallest one makes about $1 million a month. Our largest makes $8 million a month. So the airport is very lucrative. So there's been a lot of confusion about how to get into the airport. First thing you want to do is get your certification, because the primes who are bidding want to do a joint venture, which basically means they're looking for a minority to venture with. In order to operate out of the airport to get that certification, you have to supply a good or a service to our concessionaires, and the definition of a concessionaire is somebody who's operating at the airport, or to our passengers. So to give you a quick quiz, if you pour concrete, could you be a concessionaire at the airport? No. I don't have any passengers who want concrete as they go out and get on the flight. So you could not. But if you sell food, you sell earrings, necklaces, we're looking for that. You do massage, you do nails, we're looking for that. So to get in the airport, you have to bid on one of the spaces. And right now we have open bid for Terminal 3. So in order for you to bid, if you're going to do food and beverage, it's about $450 a square foot just to do your build out for food. For retail, it's about $350. So if you're going to bid by yourself, you're going to need at least $1 million just to do just to do the build out. So my suggestion would be, we have a lot of workshops, a lot of opportunities for you to meet the prime concessionaires. You would do a joint venture with them. And what that would be is, say for example, you want to do Wendy's. Our prom concessionaire, we have to host an SSP. You wouldn't want to talk to those folks. Tell them who you are, what you do, that you're certified. Because if you're not certified, they'll talk to you. But the odds of them picking you to go into the bid with them are very slim, because they know they need to meet a minority participation goal within themselves. The airport doesn't have a goal because we're race and gender neutral. All that basically says is that we've exceeded all the goals that we had, so they deemed us race and gender neutral, so we don't have a specific goal for minority participation. But the best way to get in the airport is to team up with one of our primes. There's a conference coming next week. It's called AMAC. That's the Airport Minority Advisory Council. My suggestion would be, if you want to meet all the primes from all the airports around the country, go to that conference, sell yourself. You get to do a pitch before all of the primes, and they pick you on the spot. So if you want to get in the airport, I would definitely do that. Right now, if you want to get in the Phoenix bid, my suggestion, first you got to get certified, AC. Go ahead and apply. You don't have time to get it done, because we have to have at least 90 days to process it. But if you're in process, you can tell the prime I'm in process. Also, if you're food and beverage, you probably want to have a storefront somewhere so they can try your food. And if you're a retailer, same thing. So 2 things to remember to get in the airport: get certified, get with the primes. Go to our website, this one, phoenix.gov/solicitation, so you can read about what we're about to do in Terminal 3. And that is the best way for you to get into Terminal 3. See what's on there. Look up the primes, call them. They may have already partnered with people, but that would give you an opportunity to get into the airport. Any questions? Did I answer that question? I know it was a long answer, but... All right, thank you all so much.
Okay, so again, my name is Lupita Gomez, and I'm with the procurement office. And here's what I'm going to be talking to you about today. We'll be talking about the different regulations within the city of Phoenix regarding procurement. We'll be stating some facts about the city that I don't think a lot of people know. Total spend, and there are a lot of opportunities for small business within the city of Phoenix. So back in January 1st of 2015, the city of Phoenix adopted its very first procurement code. And what the procurement code is the rules and regulations that the contracting officers use to do solicitations in order for you all to do business with the city. We're probably one of the very few cities in the country that did not have a procurement code. The procurement code was modeled after the federal regulation as well as the state procurement code. As well as the city procurement code, we have to adhere to administrative regulations. So there's a lot of rules and regulations that we as procurement officers have to follow when it comes to procurements. And the reason for that is because that then provides you a fair and equitable competition with all vendors. Some facts about the city. We are the 6th largest city in the country with a population of 1.6 million people. By land, we're probably bigger than New York and Los Angeles. And the city of Phoenix, as far as dollar-wise expenditures, spends more money than any other political agency in the state of Arizona. So there's a lot of money that the city has. Our responsibility, again, is to make sure that we are spending the taxpayers' dollars correctly and that we're providing fair, equitable competition to you guys, the vendors. In 2015-16, that was the total spend for the city of Phoenix. That's a lot of money out there. Small business was a little bit over $38 million. One of the things that I'm going to stress before I turn it over to Kelly is registering with the city of Phoenix. it's imperative that you go and you register as a vendor with the City of Phoenix and maintain the information and keep it up to date. The City of Phoenix right now, the bid threshold, the formal bid threshold is at $50,000. That is going to be increased up to $100,000. What that means to you is that when our office is doing solicitations, requests for quotations, any procurements under $100,000 go to you, the small business. That threshold is being increased up to $100,000. So that is, it just passed one of the subcommittees and should be going to council for approval here shortly. So we anticipate that threshold being increased as of July 1st.
How about that, Mark? It worked. It doesn't work anymore? My name is Kelly Thomas. I'm with the City Procurement as well. I work with Lapita. And what you're looking at right now are the top 25 commodities and services that we have right now with small businesses. Right now, small businesses make up about 5% or $38 million of our total spend. And I just encourage everyone here to actually look at this list closely. We have things like personal services, industrial equipment rental, HVAC, pest control, IT consulting. There's a plethora of ideas out here for you to look at in order to do business with the city. And I'm just going to reiterate again, if maybe your corporation is not to the point where you're ready to bid on a contract by yourself, then please, by all means, go into a subcontracting opportunity with any of these businesses. And I'm a little bit further on, I'm going to show you where you can find that information. So, what do you have to do? Have you signed up with the City of Phoenix yet? This gives you a little bit of information on what you need to do. We have a Procure Phoenix webpage, and actually I think we passed out some information a few minutes ago. And what you need to do is you actually need to go in and register. And this is different from registering as a small business. This is actually just with the City of Phoenix. So we encourage everyone to register with our website in order for you to find out any of our solicitation opportunities. Once you do that, what happens is that when we actually issue a solicitation, we will use your email address and send it to you directly. But you can also go onto our webpage and find any other opportunities that may suit your needs. And that's a little bit different because if you register with a particular product category, say for example, you provide pest control services, but we only send you pest control contract solicitations. However, there is a larger company out there that may need pest control services as part of their contract. You would not receive that, but you can find that information on our webpage. So we highly encourage you to do so. Registering is very easy. As you can see, you just gather your business info, scan your W-9, and set up your password. And if you have any questions, just give us a call. I encourage you again to make sure you keep your information updated. By that I mean if you change your business name, if you change your phone number, if you change an email, anything like that, make sure you keep it updated because that's how we're going to communicate with you. So, tips for success. Again, register with the City of Phoenix. Be very proactive. Check our solicitations webpage. We have all solicitations for the city there, from aviation to law, for finance department. It might be police. It could be the law, human resources department. Any of those departments are going to be listed there all in one place. I encourage you also that when you look at some of the bid solicitations, read them carefully. Look at the date that it was issued. Look at the date that it's due. See if there are any mandatory meetings that you need to come to in order to qualify to even bid on the contract to begin with. Also look at the scope of work to see whether that scope really suits the services that you provide. Or if you can actually provide some of the services in part of that contract, maybe reach out to some of the prime vendors and say, hey, this contract is out there. I offer this service. Would you be interested in me being a subcontractor on this contract? So I encourage you, even though it may not be something in your field, look at them all. You never know what you might find out there. Participate in the bidding process by submitting your offers. Don't be afraid, submit it. You just never know what could possibly happen. No bid is too big or too small for the City of Phoenix, so if it's a small contract, please bid on it. If it's a larger one and you think you can do it, please, by all means, do so. And then finally, once you do receive a contract with the City of Phoenix, be sure to follow through on what the contract requires. Make sure you provide excellent service. We do vendor follow-up. We do reach out to our departments and find out, hey, how are you doing? And that really can affect whether or not the next time a bid process comes around, whether or not you will be selected, because we do take vendor performance into account at times. So, these are the most common procurement methods that we have at the City of Phoenix right now. Request for quote, this is our small dollar purchases. Right now, that's anything under $25,000. So if you have a small business, and let's say we may have a need for pruning services in a certain area, we might put out a request for quotations because our vendor can't provide that services, or may be different from what we already have a contract on. That's something that you can also apply for. Invitations for bid. As Lupita mentioned, our bid threshold is being increased. Right now, it's $25,000 to $50,000, but we are planning on increasing that to anything under $100,000. That's a little bit different from a request for quote. The request for quote just says, we're looking for this services, how much will you provide, and you send us a little quote. The invitation for bid is a little bit more dollar amount, but it may be a little bit more involved, and it may be for a longer period of time. It could be anywhere up to 5 years, could be as small as 6 months, depending on what the service is. And finally, we have requests for proposals or competitive seal proposal. This is where we're looking for a service. Let's say, for example, we are going to, something we just did currently, we're going to replace our telephone system. We're not quite sure exactly how we want to approach that, but we know what the end goal needs to be. So we're looking for you to provide us some information on how you can get that done and what the best pricing that you can get that done. And then we will review it. We'll have conversations with the final vendors and then make our decision. And that can go anywhere from over $100,000 up to in the millions, and it could be a long-term contract, again, short-term. So here's some resources that you can look at while you're looking for the City of Phoenix. Procure Phoenix is where you're going to be able to register. If you have any questions, if you want to follow up on anything that we've discussed here, you can do that there. Current solicitations are also going to be on the Procure Phoenix website. And then the Small Enterprise Program, Small Business Enterprise Program we discussed. There's also consulting and construction for capital improvement programs, and then the small business resources. Any questions? I must have done a really good job.
All right, again, I want to thank Ms. Angela Booker, Lupita Gomez, and Kelly Thompson from the City of Phoenix for their insight into contracting with the